I bought a house sight unseen when I was in the Air Force. This would have been back in 2004. Here's what went wrong. Hey guys, Chad Howery here with Keller Williams in Eastern North Carolina. I'm a retired Air Force veteran. I was an ammo troop, basically built ordnance troop for the Air Force on the airframes that were at each duty station. I did 13 years active duty and retired as a reservist about 4 years ago. I've been an agent for almost 12 years, covering Cherry Point, Camp Lejeune, Fort Macon, Hoboken, and Seymour Johnson area. I was overseas and I bought my first home sight unseen. I was stationed at Incirlik Air Force Base in the Air Force. This would have been probably 2004, really before, of course the internet was still going, but a lot of photos and videos weren't necessarily a thing at the time that I bought. So basically I bought based off of photos. My own fault. When I finally saw the house in person, it was actually the day before closing. And when I walked in, I got hit with a very strong pet odor that was not necessarily disclosed to me prior to that day. So, it's the first house I was buying. I was super excited. I had just had my first kid, and I was probably the time I would have been 23, 24 buying my first house, and I kind of felt defeated going in because I would have liked to know that the carpet smelled that bad. When I was house hunting overseas at Incirlik Air Force Base, I basically did it all online. I was looking on Zillow. What I would do is I would send an address to the agent that I was working with and ask her, hey, go preview this property, tell me a little bit about it, do the photos match what the house is online. We found one that we really liked, and so that's when we put an offer in on the property. We closed once I basically PCS'd in. We scheduled a closing date right around the same time that I was moving there. And so we came in basically a day or two prior to closing, did a final walkthrough. So when we got to see the house, the carpet had a very strong smell. And kind of what that made me feel like is, one, I was disappointed. At the time, I was an E4. I had just made Staff Sergeant in the Air Force, so I didn't make a lot of money. So I knew at that point it was going to be too late to try to change houses, even though the flooring needed to be replaced. I knew I still needed to close on the property because I had no other place basically to live. So definitely was not the greatest feeling. Definitely disappointment, anger, and not fully represented like I thought I was being represented by an agent. So yeah, never a feeling I wanted anybody else to feel. And of course people make mistakes. It's just, you sign up to be a real estate agent and go through all these courses and classes to be a fiduciary. So I knew at that point, I'd always kind of wanted to be a real estate agent, but I knew at that point I really wanted to be an agent because I thought to myself, man, I can do this better and be the eyes, ears, voice for somebody, and nose to be able to smell what a house smells like. Obviously, I can't pick up every smell, but when I go in a property now, if there's a strong pet smell, I can smell that, and it brings me back to 2004, first buying a house. I use it as a funny story to tell people, and a good learning experience, but it's crazy. After 20 years, I still remember how I felt because of the smell of that property closing on it. So I told myself I never want somebody to, of course they might be disappointed with something with a house, but I don't want it to be because of me not telling them that it smelled or there was smoke in the house, things like that. I still bought the house, and what the agent did is she had the carpets cleaned. Even though that really didn't help, it was a nice gesture, and what I end up doing is I replaced the floor after we moved in. When I bought my first house, it wasn't that I bought my first house, it was how I felt and the experience around it, that I didn't have somebody be in my eyes, ears, smell with a property, and for them to disclose that to me up front. So I pride myself on, when I do video tours, to upload them to YouTube privately for buyers and sellers, and to tell them, hey, if I smell something or if I hear something, things that you can only do if you're in person. And of course, I won't write an offer without them watching that video and having a conversation about what I've seen in the house, and all the data and disclosures behind it. It's always great to own homes and build wealth through home ownership, but it's also, you want to do it the right way and have somebody that protects your interests in the event you can't take house hunting days to come, preview homes. Like I said, when I was in Turkey, I was 22, 23 years old. I got house hunting days, but I had just had a new kid and couldn't afford to fly from Turkey all the way to Abilene, Texas and spend 10 days house hunting. So I know a lot of military families can't do that. So you definitely want to hire somebody that's going to have your best interest and going to tell you the things that only they can tell you because they're in person. Hey, if you're PCS into Eastern North Carolina to stations of Cherry Point, Camp Lejeune, New River, Camp Geiger, Hoboken, Fort Macon, Seymour Johnson, Eastern North Carolina has a lot of bases. Damn, that's a lot. Thinking about buying, whether it's in Eastern North Carolina or across the United States, please reach out with any questions. I also have a resource of agents that I can tap into to help you find another military-friendly agent, like I said, across the United States. And then if you're looking in Eastern North Carolina, I'd love to be a resource for you. You can call me, text me, or DM me. My cell phone is 325-669-7048, or chadhowery@kw.com, or any of the links below.